Cameroon, Morocco game. Kudos to Cameroon. One of the things they've done so well is they've been able to defend so well. They are not a team that scores a whole lot of goals. Malawi, on the other hand, I mean, among the two sisters, you have 9 goals, and other ladies have been able to also contribute. They've scored over 13 goals, the Malawians, but in fact, the Cameroonians, they've scored less than 10 goals, and they are where they are at the moment. One thing you cannot take away from them is their defense and their ability to be able to defend. The game against Nigeria, they scored in the 90 minutes from a set piece, from a free kick, and that was the end. And they defended so well. Don't you think that will come to bear when they are playing against Malawi? And if you look at their game against Morocco also, it was because how they defended, that was the reason why they won that particular match. What do you make of the performance of Cameroon against Morocco?
Yeah, the performance against Morocco was a very tactical. Sorry, it was a defensive masterclass. I mean, they shot the Moroccans down. You understand? I don't know if you saw the game, but if you watched the game, they just closed. The middle was just blocked. There was no spaces between their midfielders and the defense. You understand?
Hmm,
They were not allowing the Moroccans pass through their
hmm,
middle. This forced the Morocco to go wide, spam
hmm,
crosses, and Cameroon, their defenders are very not taught. So any cross that was
true.
coming into it, they were easily dealing with it. You understand? They forced the Moroccans to one play style. You
Hmm,
understand? They found it difficult to break them down. They forced them to go wide. And if, as a team, you understand, if a team forces you to go wide, if you don't have if you don't have good wingers, if you don't have AC wingers, you are going to lose. You are not going to score. That's the truth. You understand? Look at what happened to Nigeria. You understand? So they forced the Moroccans to go wide. They were just farming crosses and they didn't come. They got a penalty. They later got an opportunity to have a penalty in the 118th minute. I mean, in the second half of the extra time, and their keeper came off strong. Again, defense. You can see that their entire defense is locked in. You understand? The midfield and the defenders got beaten, but their goalkeeper still stepped up. That's a very good defense. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give it to them for their defense. But now Malawi have the attack and Malawi have the midfield.
hmm,
See, it's going to be a very interesting match. It's going to be a very interesting match because Malawi has a better attack. They have a better midfield. You understand? So it's going to be a very interesting matchup. But I don't see I don't see Cameroon holding Malawi. Like I don't see Cameroon holding Malawi like they did against Morocco and like they did against Nigeria.
Now,
I'm going to say why.
let's talk about the Moroccan side a bit before you come to the reason why. What do you think the coach did wrong? I mean, this same coach has been there for the last 3 tournaments. The one they lost against South Africa, he was there. They beat Nigeria in the semi-final. He was there. The one they lost against Nigeria, the last edition, he was there. Now they lost again in the semi-final to a Cameroonian side. What do you think the coach is doing wrong? That's number one. Number two, don't you think this is the same case? This is the same repeat of the Southgate case where he's able to get England to a particular stage, but he's not able to get them above the line. He got them to finals, got them to a semi-final of World Cup, but could not go further. Don't you think it's high time the Moroccan FA begin to look at other options since this same coach has failed to deliver the tournament? It seems Morocco is just good enough to host tournament, but they are not good enough to win it. They are not good enough to put up the performance to win them the tournament.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you see the thing about home performances. I mean, this is Morocco's home we're playing in. It
Hmm,
can make or mar you. You
hmm,
understand? Everything that has a good side has a bad side. Obviously, when you play your home, the fans will ginger you, the fans will hype you up, you understand? You'll get that motivation to play, especially if you are playing your home crowd. But
hmm,
let's not forget that this can also bring pressure,
hmm,
you understand? Because
hmm,
you are playing you are playing in your home. The option not to fail is there. Like the option not to fail, the option not to lose in your home is there. So you don't want to disappoint people. Because you don't want to let people down, because you don't want to let the fans down, because you don't want to let your country down. Pressure setting. I think
Hmm.
that's what setting. Look at the penalty. Look at the penalty they took.
Hmm.
See the pressure, see the noise everywhere.
Hmm.
You understand? And she took it like that. The
Hmm.
coach should have managed that situation with how about calming everybody down. You cannot have that kind of noise and ginger arena. They've not scored it, they're already celebrating. That's pressure. See, no, look at it, look at it. They've not scored penalty. 118 minutes, 2 minutes before the match finished.
Sorry, Collins. Don't you think the coach made a mistake not working on their penalties? Remember, the same case
I'm
played out
coming.
against Ghana. I don't understand it.
I was going to come to that because they didn't practice penalty at all. It made Cameroon keeper look like Superwoman because some of the penalties were just poor. I mean, she
True,
tried. She
true,
saved three penalties.
true.
But I tell you that two out of those three penalties were poor.
Hmm.
It was not taken away. It
Hmm.
was not taken away. You
Hmm.
understand? So all these things just accumulate. The pressure. If the young lady would have calmed down and taken that penalty that she won in during the course of the match in the 118 minutes, they would have scored.
Hmm.
But she took it like that under that pressure, under that. Ah, she took it and she missed it. It got in her head.
Hmm.
Football is played in your mind and it's played on the pitch. You can see it in this World tournament.
Hmm.
If things enter your mind, you will not feel well.
Hmm.
In fact, and the coaches did his own thing. Look, what kind of penalty shooter was that? Did they not practice penalty? Did they think they were going to beat Cameroon too easily? That's what I thought. I thought they maybe they felt like they were going to dispatch Cameroon in 90 minutes or 120. They did not expect Cameroon to take them to penalties. That's why
Hmm.
they did practice penalties because what was that?
True,
They did practice it. It was very
true,
obvious. They did
true.
they didn't expect Cameroon to do what they do to them. They were like, okay, maybe Nigeria is out. There's no other thing that can beat us again. Who told you? Who told you no other thing can beat you again? Cameroon will beat Nigeria. No Sabu they Nigeria is out. They don't think that can beat us again. So that's why they didn't practice penalty. Oh yeah, nah, they disrespected Cameroon and they saw the result.
Hmm.
So that's the way football works. Football punishes you. You know, so football punishes you. They were frustrated. They were
Hmm.
really frustrated because Cameroon really frustrated them. Cameroon frustrated Nigeria. I was frustrated. Morocco don't see what we see. Because Morocco was even more painful because it's very heartbreaking. They took them to 90 minutes and gave them hope that you still have hope, only for them to shatter the hope. So it's down. I don't want that one at all. You prefer me to beat you for 90 minutes, me and make and they go out. But for you to waste my time for like 120 minutes, come to beat you up, I'll feel swear for person. So so I think Morocco had it worse. So like I honestly I feel like the coach so far he was very predictable. See,
Hmm.
this Morocco are they have been predictable this tournament so far. They operate through the flank. They operate through the middle, and Cameroon figured that out. They force
True,
them to the
true.
flanks. They force them to the flank. They say, "Oh, yeah, you push, you go wide. Let me see if we have creative wingers to beat us." And
Hmm.
Morocco didn't have that, and that's why they lost. That's
Hmm.
why they lost.
That,
You
that, that,
understand?
that, 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 that's very interesting. I mean, Morocco, they've lost the tournament again. A whole lot of people they are calling for the head of the FA. They are calling for the head of everybody involved. And sometimes it can be very painful when you spend so much money. Remember, we were talking behind the scene after the loss of Nigeria. I said, and I told you this. I said Nigeria. I said this is the tournament for Morocco. Morocco is going to win this tournament. And you told me something that you don't think so. And now it finally played out. Cameroon has been able to dispatch Morocco, and you can only blame the coach. How can you play 5 penalties and one single person saved 4? It does not make any sense. In the space of 30 minutes, you play 5 penalties and one person saved 4 out of it. It shows that the coach do the job very well, and that's the reason why Morocco has lost. To be honest, if I were Moroccan, I'm very, very angry too, and I would not like it. But